Come watch, we can save the world. We are entering theaters on 18 September. First 2 weeks are battleground. We made this movie for you. We made this movie in particular for younger generations of Singaporeans to excite ourselves, to show us that actually Singaporean movies can be freaking amazing. And we made this movie to show ourselves that we are a really fun people and a really fun place. And we have really fun stories so that we can all celebrate ourselves, that we can save the world.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
And welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by Chit Podcast Network. Now today, I actually got to speak to Chai Hong, a movie director. He spoke in great lengths about the industry and his movie making experience. What do you think was the most interesting thing you heard from him?
He really shared a lot. And I felt like he really shared a very fresh perspective of if things don't change, especially about what is it looking like in the film industry right now. Yeah. I always wanted to know, especially for a director, how does he pitch the idea to his investors? What does it look like? Yes. Yeah. It really made oh wow, so this is what they do. It was really very cool to hear.
When you were offline, right, he actually wanted me to remind all our listeners, right, to go to cinemas and watch the movie because number one, this is an experience that you can only get in cinema. Okay, I won't spoil it by saying what kind of experience, but you go to cinema, it will be a unique experience, and this kind of experience is you go home, watch on Netflix, you watch on other streaming platforms, right? You will never get one. All right, before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor. This week's episode of the Chit Chatter podcast is proudly sponsored by Eaglewings Cinematics, Singapore's first independent cinema located at King Albert Park.
Eaglewings isn't just your typical cinema chain. It's a boutique experience that blends comfort, style, and community. They feature 5 uniquely themed halls, each designed to give moviegoers a fresh and memorable experience every time.
Eaglewings also elevates the dining experience. Instead of just popcorn and soda, you can enjoy a wide variety of food from their award-winning Eaglewings Loft menu, such as lobster risotto, wagyu beef burgers, pasta or fish and chips prepared by chefs and delivered right to your seat. Premium ticket classes even give you access to their premium lounge with complimentary soda, coffee or tea, and use of their massage chair before the movie.
What truly sets Eaglewings apart is that they don't just only screen big blockbuster movies like any other theatre, they also host private screenings for special occasions such as birthday parties and wedding proposals. Moreover, they are committed to supporting local films, giving homegrown stories a platform to shine, including films like We Can Save the World, the new sci-fi comedy by today's guest, director Chai Hong.
And to celebrate, we have partnered with Eaglewings Cinematics to give away silver class movie vouchers so you can experience it for yourself. To take part, just check out our IG for all the details.
Because cinema isn't just alive, it's thriving at Eaglewings Cinematics, right here at King Albert Park.
A big thank you to Eaglewings Cinematics for saving cinema. Right now, back to the episode. And welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now today, we have with us a very, very special guest. His name is Cheng Chai Hong. He's a vibrant and versatile filmmaker from Singapore, recognized for his comedic storytelling and creative flair. He began his career as a second assistant director on the acclaimed film A Yellow Bird. He also created and directed the indie comedy web series Average Guys and Neighborhood Watch Task Force. His latest movie is We Can Save the World, which is premiering on 18 Sept. Okay, so to find out more about his experience as a movie director, please join me in welcoming Chai Hong. Hello, Chai Hong. 我第一次跟电影导演讲话. My first time talking to a movie director.
Yes. First time you all have a director on the podcast.
Yes, we had a stunt director, we had a music producer, we have maybe everybody that you're working with, but not the main man himself.
Oh, so you guys have gone around reaching out to all the different people in film industry.
Not just industry but I would say that people with more creative jobs in Singapore, something that you don't usually hear about. It's not those typical everyday. Oh, I work at the bank. I work in my workplace at CBD.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. Wait, what? What do two of you do?
I have to say that's what I do. I work at CBD.
I run a startup with a few friends doing publishing and publishing services. Yeah, books and for example, ebooks, this kind of thing. Yeah, copy editing, copywriting, translations, this kind of stuff.
For you, will you be busy with the movie promotion? Now, of course, it's so close to your launch already, right?
Yeah, very busy. Busy with every other day. I'm gonna be on some podcast or on radio shows. Tomorrow evening also got another podcast.
Wow.
Then after that, just meetings upon meetings, and then of course need to pump out content for
Instagram,
do
social media,
Instagram, social media, TikTok, do the content creator live for. which I am
I see.
I am not cut out for. I really am not cut out for.
It's so crazy that you have to, as a movie director, you have to now double up as like a
Yeah.
content
Yeah.
creator director as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
completely different life and it's a different muscle. Like sure I can create jokes and write stupid shit, right? Wow, but like doing it
to do that in
for
like short form or like content create in a content creation like style is
very
must be very
different.
different.
it's very
Yeah.
different. There's no setup, no nothing. Just
Pure jokes.
bam, joke. If the joke's too long, even if the joke is good, right? The joke's too long, bye. Also no point.
Yeah.
Oh, the recent news is about like the projector and like the Cathay closing. So, how has it affected your preparation for the premiere of the movie?
I mean, that one's an easy one, lah. Like, feels that long. I mean, Cathay has such a long history. They were supposed to celebrate something like that 80th or 90th anniversary in Singapore. Then now it's gone. And I think the big problem here is there are just less and less cinema to put your movies in. If you have too few cinema chains operating, the usual problems come about. Then there will be monopoly, duopoly, whatever it is. Like, it's just not the best environment for business lah. So I think Cathay it's more in line with it's more similar to GV and Shaw, let's say. So it's less of an issue, but I think with the projector, that one will hurt us a lot more because when I say us, I mean like the local film industry. This is the kind of thing that, to be honest, also harmed them a bit lah. They were the cinema that really supported local filmmakers, regardless of what kind of movies they make. So for example, for myself, right, for We Can Save the World, maybe I am not so hard up about the projector simply because the kind of movies I want to make, the kind of movie that the We Can Save the World is, right, it's still a mainstream movie. My goal was to make a commercial, like laugh out loud, stupid, dumbass comedy. It is not as jialat, it's not as tough to get into Shaw, to get into GV, to get into Cathay even.
There's a mass appeal lah.
Right, there's mass appeal. It's more accessible. For not every movie is gonna be like that. Not everyone can make a movie in the way I do. Not as like I'm so lihai kind of thing, but as like everyone got a different style, ma. Everyone has different style, different ways of looking at life, different kinds of stories they want to tell. Like the damn amazing, powerful stories, right, are the ones that maybe are not so easily marketable. Today, right, as of the projector closing, they don't have a home anymore. The truth is, it's damn hard. It's damn hard to then have that movie playing in Singapore. Then if you have that, damn hard to have that movie playing in Singapore. The hard question here is, will these movies ever get made?
I guess it's to go overseas. That's why I feel like that's why a lot of the creative minds, they pursue their career overseas first, right?
Tribute overseas.
I think that's the tough part that I think the average audience doesn't see also. So the realities of filmmaking are that films are not cheap to make. They are not like you grab a paintbrush, you grab the raw materials. Even if it's expensive, let's say $50,000, $100,000, maybe you have a really expensive piece of art. You are working with clay, marble, whatever, right? But with movies, right, 300K, 500K, that's a cheap movie. That is a low budget movie.
Wow.
A normal mid-budget tier, right, maybe in Singapore context, right, is maybe 800 to 1 million.
Wow.
Then high budget is above 1 million. And the big question here is, if the movie costs so much to make, and they do cost that much to make, once you factor in all the man hours involved, all the craft involved, like you want to create something that actually watchable, right? Like that looks like Hollywood quality, looks like high production value, etc. That's the kind of investment you put in. Then the question is, you put all that investment into a movie, right? You don't go into movie theaters. You go overseas, you cannot make money, and that's not enough. You go to film festivals, it's a losing proposition. You cannot make that kind of movie, and that's a big thing that people will often say. Oh, I'll go overseas. Wow, the moment if you have to rely on going overseas to make your movie work, right, means your movie doesn't have an audience, doesn't have a actual local audience, doesn't have an audience base already.
Before we dive into all the, especially your current movie, right, we actually usually, before we start our podcast, we always like to learn about the origins of our guests. So we usually like to take it all the way back. Could you share with our listeners, right, your growing up story and how or why did you even enter the movie industry?
Oh, that's nice. So growing up, I wasn't a film buff.
Interesting.
I'm appreciative of the fact that I didn't grow up a film buff. I never knew I wanted to make movies. I never knew about the world of filmmaking. I was always convinced I wanted to be a journalist at most. I want to write stuff. I enjoy writing. So in terms of film education, right, it's not the kind like, growing up, you watch a lot of art films, a lot of damn chim films, then you have like, film education built up from a younger age. I only decided that I wanted to make movies, or actually, at least just learn how to make films. When I lost my way a bit, when I went into poly, I studied mass communication at Nia Poly. Then I decided, so that was when I decided that I wanted to study journalism, right? Maybe like 1 year in, I realized, no, I don't want to study journalism at all. Sorry. Sorry, Ma. And that's funny thing, because I fought my parents on it. Because I came from like one of those atas SEP schools. And today, thankfully, it's a lot more common now, a lot more acceptable. But back then, like basically, for me to say I wanted to go to poly, right, is nearly 被赶出家门 that kind.
In the past, I feel like in the past was like this, the concept of like, oh, you can go JC, why don't you go JC?
Yeah.
Which is not a healthy perspective to begin with, right? So I fought against that. I can't really take that back. I can't really say, Ma, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So I carried on studying journalism. I pivoted into advertising for a while. So I started working, doing copywriting stuff. Maybe like half a year in doing that, I realized, nope, I don't want to be a copywriter either. I majorly screwed up. So thankfully we had NS, honestly. Like during NS, I had the 2 years to think very hard about, okay, what do I really want to do? What can I do? What am I good at? And I realized there was something that I've always been doing. So I've always been making stupid little videos for my friends, for camps, that kind of thing. And back then, it's not like YouTube was a big thing. I wasn't trying to be a YouTuber. I was just doing stupid videos for fun. Then, so I thought to myself, since I'm doing this without anyone telling me to do it, like it's not a part of it's part of a class assignment or anything like that, right? Might as well, okay, that means this is at least one clear sign that I actually am interested in doing this. Okay, let's go figure out whether I can make something out of myself, like, and actually learn about video making, about filmmaking. So that's when I enrolled in LaSalle after NS. So I studied film at LaSalle. It was a bachelor's degree course. And after 3 years, then I entered the film industry. So that's my villain story.
Wow.
Villain story.
So what made you choose to become a director opposed to like an actor or producer?
Yeah. I think for myself, it was more, I never like really hard up want to be a director. I wanted to still be still in line with what I previously wanted to do, which is to write. I always wanted to be a writer. But I think in the world of filmmaking, it just makes a lot of sense for the writer to also be a director, especially honestly with the talent pool in Singapore being so small. Like we just don't have enough people. So for example, if I want to be a writer, right, I have to find a director to work with. More important, I have to find a director who clicks with me, who understands my writing, who I can see their vision and okay, let's work together. That's not easy to find, especially like people always say, right, we hear that a lot, oh, Singapore talent pool very small, population very small. But how I see it today, right, actually is very, very highly specific. You by percentage, right, the amount of people that are working in the film industry, bring down a percentage. We just throw an arbitrary number, 5%. And out of 5%, right, how many want to be directors? That's even lower. Out of that percentage, how many of whittled down directors, right? How many people are on the same wavelength as you? Whittled down even more. Of that percentage, how many of these people who want to be directors and click with you on the same level are actually free at exactly the same time period that you are working on something together? If they're 10 years older, 15 years older, you cannot click. No matter how much you click, right? Yeah, different life stage. Different dynamics, very hard.
Oh, when you break it down like this, it really makes sense that the talent pool really is almost impossible to find someone, especially at age level, to
work together.
We just look at like even in Hollywood, not anyone can just work with anyone, and this is regardless of talent. This is not nothing to do with talent ability. Just cannot click. Like you can try to click, but even then there will always be
like so
many factors. Correct. So many factors that come to play. If Hollywood got with such a huge, where the world goes to LA to try to find their dreams and work together, right? Also got issues. Singapore,
Singapore, What would you say is like some of the other bigger challenge you face like on this journey, like to make a way to become a director?
Bigger challenge on the way. I mean, where do I begin?
I believe that especially to make it where you are, there will be countless amount of challenges, especially in like what you say in Singapore market.
I think one of the biggest problems, right, is getting started. For most audiences, the average audience, my mom, you guys, we only see movies and TV series, right? And those are the media products, those are storytelling products that we see. Most of the time, these things, like I said, very expensive, huge budget, huge investment. You don't want a rookie director. You don't want, even if it's a rookie director, you don't want a director who doesn't know what he or she is doing on the project, because that it's immediately your investment, like, bye-bye. But then how do you find a non-rookie director if every director has to start somewhere, right? The like movies, TV series, all these things, big projects, right? They are usually created based on someone's vision. That vision is started by someone. And that someone, usually because of how young our movie industry is, right? It's probably going to be very young. Before that, what do I do? What do I do to even get the amount of experience, get myself up to the level of competency in order to even just get to the starting line to make the movie? That's the big question that I think most filmmakers need to find a way to answer for themselves. So for example, on my end, We Can Save the World has a certain tone and a certain kind of style. Like some people ask like, Cheng, like, how do you come up with this style? The truth is, in order to come up with this style, right, I had to practice now, I have to fail, I have to make mistakes, I have to try things out. But then if this is my first movie, where do I try and make mistakes out? Try out and make mistakes on? Like how? Where, right? Most people just keep working on short films. But for me, I was always thinking, films very often, because these short films, like I said, most average audiences, right, won't ever get to see them. They usually go to film festivals. And because they go to film festivals, these short films are usually more art house leaning. So it's a bit tougher to watch and immediately, okay, I can enjoy this. Usually. Things are slowly changing, but usually like that. Then you make enough of those, then people will be like, and you get practice, and people will look at your short film and go, okay, I think
bigger budget they give you a bigger budget to work with.
Yeah.
Is it?
Okay, I was gonna say that, but I was gonna take it back, because nobody's gonna say that. In order to make the jump from a 10-minute, 15-minute short film to a feature film, you have to make the jump yourself. You have to make your short films up to a certain point, and nobody will ever tell you that, you're ready. You have to decide that you're ready and try to make the jump yourself and figure out whether you can cobble together resources, friends, family, investors, and convince them about your vision that, okay, I'm ready. And a lot of people will tell you you're not ready, because the truth is, most people would not, like, they won't know that you have any track record.
Yeah.
Which is, once again, now you see this entire like situation, like, how?
It's a vicious circle.
Yeah, if you don't get started, you have no track. It's like the today entry level jobs requiring like 5 years of working experience.
Then where to find an entry level job?
Yeah, who? And it's one of those things that a bit bobian, because you do need to take a chance on someone. On my own end, I actually have to go ask myself a hard question now. Like, am I ready? Am I truly ready to potentially waste someone else's investment?
I think my next question will be about the local scene. I think you touched a bit on it just now, that some people think that we should get famous overseas then come back, right? But that's a misconception. Yeah, but what are some of the other misconceptions about the scene, or some general views about the scene that you can share with us?
That Singapore don't have talent. I think that's
actually quite a lot of people say that.
Okay. Yeah, quite a lot of people say it. Yeah.
It's the typical, right, Singaporean Sinky. It's a typical the Sinky mentality that we always think, Singaporeans no talent, Singaporeans not creative. Actually, really disagree. I think Singaporeans are plenty creative. What's often holding us back is a self-inflicted mentality, like a culture growing up, that told us that no don't do this, like don't try out anything creative.
Don't take that risk.
The iron bowl or rice.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
it's very much about getting people to not be too creative or to be too crazy to follow the rules. And the thing is, I will say that with a lot of confidence because I was like that. Like, I don't know whether you know the reputation of a Dunman High student. We are basically born and bred to be civil servants. Like, perfect.
Perfect. One straight route to an iron rice bowl.
Correct. Perfect rule followers. Perfect people to work in the system. Good at thinking. But also within like very firmly drawn
bilingual
boxes.
talents. Represent Singapore.
对，华语英语都很讲得很顺畅。And I will use myself as an example. Okay, I would actually argue it's the people who know the most about working within the box that know the most about breaking the box.
Wow. Okay.
If you know what conventions are, if you know what a structure, what accepted structure is, what people normally like, you understand a system, you are best placed to figure out how to get outside of the system, how to work outside the boundaries of the system in a way that makes sense still with the system. So for example, like the idea of just within movie making, right? There's this term called subverting convention. Subverting is the act of like playing with something and then changing it, flipping it upside down. And very often that's what creates comedy. That's what makes people surprised. That's when, like, if you watch a horror movie, right, and you know, everyone's watched a horror movie before, and you know in a horror movie, this is about to happen, everyone's waiting for it, right?
Yeah.
The best movies subvert that and surprise you because you're waiting for something to happen. You in your head, you have seen this before, you expect this to happen. Then the filmmaker, the writer, the director figures out a way to subvert it, and then you're caught by surprise.
Wow,
and then you get, what the fuck? Sorry, I swore.
So that's the term for it.
The people who play by the rules are the best people, once again, to subvert the rules. And I firmly stand by it. What does it take to get people to start doing that? I don't know.
So what do you think are the changes that need to happen to ensure that the industry stays sustainable?
So I think three. I can think of three things, and I'll rank them I'll say them out in terms of, I think, decreasing priority. I think the first one is local filmmakers need to make more movies, because I will always subscribe to this belief that can only control what we can control. Like, so as a filmmaker, right, it's pointless to fault the audience. So from my perspective, it's useless to lay the blame at the feet of audience that, the audience are not coming to cinemas to watch. Even if I buy into that perspective, right, you think like that for what? Doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't help anyone. Like, complaining about Singaporean audiences will not get Singaporean audiences to come and watch. The only thing that's within our control is like, there's a very stoic way of thinking, like, which is ourselves. The truth is, at the end of the day, if I want to make movies, if I think there's a possibility at making this a career, if I want to make movies for Singaporeans, then go do it lah. Like, literally just figure out the way to go do it. Yes, there will be a lot of risk we are taking on. There's a lot of things that will make me go, wow, why did I choose to do this? But the truth is,
why am I doing this to myself?
Correct. Like, I ask myself this all the time, but then at the end of the day, I will return to the answer of, if I believe in it, do it lor. No one asked me to do it. I mean, in the same regard, nobody asked me to not do it. So if I want to do it. If I don't want to do, like, go join another industry, go to CBD work lah. Like, there's nothing. The truth is, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But since you're there, make the best out of it, right?
At least today lah. At least as of now, I can afford to say that because I actually did take that risk. If I didn't take a risk, I say this kind of shit, right? A bit, this guy.
Like, no movie coming out, I was just like, everybody should take a risk, but actually no lah. But I'm okay.
Hypocrite.
Yeah.
As a filmmaker, as a member of a creative industry, right, you are supposed to take risks. We don't dare to, but as Singapore filmmakers, right, we are so used to not taking risks. We are damn used to waiting for government aid money, finding ways to de-risk the entire proposition, making sure the entire project comes together. Like, got money, then we do. Which is fair. I'm not saying that's not a fair perspective here. So your question was, what does it take to change, right? this is why it takes to change. Because as long as our mindset stays like that, it's tough. It's really tough. Wait for someone to write a white paper first so that we know all the risks involved. The second thing, and I don't think this is a controversial opinion, that the government, and of course I'm ranking priority lah. So more important, filmmakers need to do something. I think the government needs to support, but not in the way that I think a lot of people think. So one of the important things I think requires government support, right, is to sort of pull back a bit on their idea of what a free market is. And this is something I believe strongly in because, Singapore society, the way we came through, we've always subsisted and existed based on the idea of a free market, right? That equal opportunity, best product wins, cheapest product wins, best value for the consumer wins. Even in the film industry, I believe that has always been an ethos. That's why government doesn't step in. Our Singapore government doesn't step in to our cinemas in a way that, let's say, Korea or China does. So South Korea and China, what they do is they have a quota system. There's percentage of certain quota of cinemas or of movies in the cinemas that are Chinese, if you're in China. Or South Korean, if you're in South Korea. Therein lies like a conundrum, right? Because that one violates free market policy a bit. That one is essentially a bit protectionist, a bit nationalistic, because it protects, make sure that, that's the local products, local entertainment, local culture has a space in cinema. My argument for that is Singapore is such a global nation. We are such a young nation that by the time we actually got our act together to make movies, right, we are so far behind everyone else. And our markets are full of American comedies, American dramas, Japanese anime, Hollywood, Bollywood, Collywood, Korean. It's not their fault, right? It's not like I don't enjoy. But as a result, the effect is that you have no Singaporean movies because it's a vicious cycle. There's literally, right, if people complain and the government has complained before, or like the higher ups have complained before, or Singaporean audience have complained before that, oh no, our Singaporean movies not up to standard, not up to par compared to other international movies, then that is, to me, that is no fault of theirs, of course, because they don't know about this kind of thing. But that is an unfair statement to make because literally our local industry, right, was never even given the chance to grow. If it's free market, then local products will never ever have a chance to grow, and then it's like dead on arrival. Let's say I'm so lucky as to make my first movie, We Can Save the World, an amazing movie, and we are sway enough, right? Make the movie already. We get all the love from overseas, but like get all the information that we need, right? Then we go to cinemas, and the cinemas go, our cinemas are crowded. With Fantastic Four, with Superman. Because these are all Marvel, DC, blockbuster properties. I don't fault them if you subscribe or subscribe to free market policy. I don't fault them for not accepting we can save the in the cinemas. But then the question is, if all year round there's no perspective on trying to preserve a space for Singapore movies, right? Literally nothing will ever happen.
Must wait for no movies to come out, launch at one particular point of time. Then you only get that short 1-2 weeks. After, there's a blockbuster movie, so sorry, can you please exit the then
exactly. Y'all see already. Y'all see already. And you know what? That is actually a big reason why We Can Save the World is launching at this period. That is a big reason why. We are not, there's no way we could have launched any other period. But summer is blockbuster season. Spring is like Oscar season. They are not going to let Singaporean movies in the cinemas also.
Christmas is the Christmas, all those Christmas movies.
Christmas movies. Your Halloween period will have all sorts of slasher movies, Hollywood slasher movies. All year round got reason to say no to Singapore movies. Then Chinese New Year, Hong Kong movies, China movies come out. If you see what I mean, like if you don't buy into the idea, if you still continue buying into the idea that free market, this horrible version of this, right, is that we should all pack up and leave and quit the industry and not do anything anymore. From the government perspective, like if I were in the civil service, right, I would actually ask, wait, so we want to grow, our purpose here is to grow the movie industry, but then efforts that you can take to actually help protect and grow the local industry, right? You say, oh no, 不要做. No, the truth is like, irony. It's like, the truth is you cannot have your cake and both have your cake and eat it. You really cannot both have your cake and eat it. Because We have had 20, 30 years of experience watching this cycle repeat over and over again already. And you cannot tell me that, no, things will get better. No.
Actually, you can see in like South Korea and in China, right? That really attributes to like why their film industry like improved so much.
So
like last time
vibrant,
Korea, especially Korea and China. Last time, very little people watch their
films. Yeah,
films. In Singapore, last time people used to watch like their Singapore series and China series is about like on par. Like people watch Channel 8. I don't hear anybody watching Channel 8 series anymore compared to like the China dramas, the Korean dramas.
From my perspective, these policies, as much as they are anti-free market in that sense, right? They do work. They do work to protect and help the industry grow. Of course, there will always be cons to something like that, lah. But then it's like the phrase about madness, right? That insanity is trying the same thing constantly and expecting something different.
Yeah, that's true.
That insanity. That's what's happening. Everyone's just no. Let's keep going.
Sooner or later.
Soon we'll make a breakthrough. 你笑啊. That point is naturally about audiences, lah. And I rank that the lowest because I think at the end of the day, there are other things to be done first. First of all, filmmakers need to make movies. After government can help to protect. I think the third is actually for audiences to realize that actually our stuff is good. Like there is space for Singaporean staff to flourish, loving themselves, loving Singaporean culture ourselves.
The people who appreciate like Singapore culture or Singapore films the most would be the Singaporeans themselves. You put the movies overseas, some of them will not understand the references that you are making.
I've struggled with this before. I will always fight people, I argue people when they say, no lah, I have to support local, especially the older generation. And because I love them, because they will really celebrate ourselves. Honestly, older generations are better at this than our generation, millennials and below. But I think the older generation, right, they would always say, no lah, must support local. And then I would push back. I don't know why I was so stupid and stubborn. But I'll be like, oh, no, we cannot support local just because it's local. That's like demeaning to the product, right? That's like, support local because it's good.
It's good.
And that was what I was always saying. Then I realized, me supporting local because it's good, great. But then if it's good, just support it lah. Like, I think that's like a no-brainer already, right? But I think there is truth to supporting local because it's local. Not out of pity. I would still stand by that don't support local just because, there's almost that undertone of like pity, right? Sympathy.
Nobody will watch it, but it shouldn't be that way lah. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. I would say, still now today, I would say this, support local because it's local. Because the people who made this are your neighbors. The people local is your neighbors, local is your friends, your family, local are the people around you everyday life. Local are the people that actually care about you. The people making Hollywood movies, blockbusters, right? They don't give a shit about Singaporeans. Whether their movies and stories are relevant to Singaporean lives, right? Doesn't matter to them. They could not give a shit. It's pure capitalism for them. Supporting local means more because the locals are committed creating something for you.
It's really very true. If without this, right, sooner or later, with no change being made, like what you say, it's really, if there's no change, how can you expect things to happen, right?
Yeah.
So
and let's not pack up and go home.
Yeah, correct. But that's not the case because we are now going to move on to the movie that's coming out. We Can Save the World. For the idea, right, for the movie, how did it come about?
It came about, I mean, there were several directions that led to this, but I think one of the biggest things was wanting to poke fun at myself. That about my own background, in a different life, I could have been a civil servant. Yeah. In a different life, I could have been, if I wasn't such an idiot, right, or so kiki, I would be doing something else. The idea of why, right, really was that, I want to make a difference in the world. I want to save the world, like in a very cheesy way. That's the cheesiest way to put it. Yeah. And in the deepest of my heart, right, I really do think everyone is trying to do that. Parents, you guys, the average person on the streets, trying to find work or working very hard, gonna chew up by their boss or their boss themselves. Everyone's trying to save the world in their own way. And their world doesn't have to be big, ma. It can be just their family, the people right by their side. And I wanted to play with the idea that, okay, I'm trying to save the world, but why would I even think that making a movie can save the world? That's nonsense. So then, okay, I wanted to start poking fun at myself for even thinking about something like that, right? A civil servant, a government worker who is stuck in a dead-end job. And government is the largest employer of Singaporeans in Singapore. Once I opened up that thought process, I went, okay, this is our main character. This is what if an alien landed on Earth, an extraterrestrial landed on Earth in Singapore, how would we react? The truth is, we are all thinking the same thing. If we see someone out at 3 a.m. on right behind like the dustbin, right, telling us, hey bro, I'm alien. Siao ah,
Straight away, the first word that comes is siao.
So then that to me was hilarious because that Hollywood narrative, right, very traditional. Oh, let's go. Like the character goes on this hero's journey, right? A Singaporean will go, nope, 不要, sorry, 我明天有做工. I have a job to. I work at 9 to 5. I just my boss tomorrow and my reporting time 8 a.m. Sorry, I kena scolded. I kena put on PIP already. I cannot afford to.
Wow, PIP. Yes.
Funny.
I wanted to tell a story that's universal, that's fun, that's entertaining, all those things, but also for Singapore, like built on Singaporeans. And the inspiration really was like a fun little anecdote. Actually, this is the thing that I used to hook my producers and I think some of my investors in. I told them that I wanted We Can Save the World, whatever the movie ended up being. At this point, they don't have the script yet.
Yeah.
I wanted We Can Save the World to be a kind of movie that if someone randomly, one of you maybe, comes up to me and tells me, I got Ghim Moh Hawker Centre toilet, the public toilet, for free. You want? And I wanted the movie to be a movie that could allow me to say, I think, even though I have no idea what to do with it, another more rational, less insane filmmaker might go, like, why would my movie require Ghim Moh Hawker Centre toilet? Like, can you help me a bit more? I want to be a filmmaker where I could go, take it, and then now let's see what to do with it. Then, so that led to this whole idea about going down a rabbit hole of, okay, what can I actually use the Ghim Moh Hawker Centre toilet for? What is such a versatile and interesting, quirky, silly little story that allows me to use the hawker centre toilet like that? So I went into the toilet, think about it. Okay, what if you went into one of the hawker centre toilet, the stalls, right, the cubicle, and you press the cistern button, right, a certain rhythm, a certain combination of buttons, and then the toilet door will close, and then the entire cubicle will turn into an elevator that descends into some secret underground government bunker.
Oh my gosh, that's I feel like that's something that we all thought about like when we were kids, you know?
Yeah,
right. And you just like, if I found a proper video, maybe there's a secret room that comes out of nowhere.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is what exactly I'm talking about, that Singaporeans have imagination. We are creative. We are fun. Somewhere along the way, it got beaten out of.
Since we are on this topic, right, because you said about the idea and the initial script, I believe, then how do you go about like finding producers and like investors? Do you have to like really go knock on company door and say, hey, I got this thing, do you want to try? Or like do you have like connections? How do you go about doing this?
I would describe it, right, it's exactly the same way as how you would start up a company as an entrepreneur. You need investors, you go knock on doors, you go look for rich people, like affluent, not rich people, but maybe affluent people who are aligned with you. Maybe not even affluent people, just people who have money and they are looking to invest in something. And maybe they are interested in certain kinds of products. And in oil and gas, we look for an oil and gas investor. Someone who is working in film, we go look for people who have invested in theatre, in film, other films. Same thing, exactly the same process. And I think there's nothing much else to say about that other than you have to go knock on doors, find producers that are aligned with you, find the right investors that are aligned with you, and just make it work well. I think beyond that, right, it's all really just the nuts and bolts of entrepreneurship.
Oh, but I was always so curious. So when you knock on the doors, right, let's say you meet the investor, right, your pitch would be that you pitch at a point of time, your script is really like out already, it's just basically maybe, or is only a skeleton, then you just tell them the idea.
Think something. Whatever it takes to pitch your story. You have 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however much time that the investor gives you.
You
do whatever you want to act out the script. Do it. If you think that's the best way to sell your story, do it. If you need to come up with an entire comic book, entire comic strip, you need to have a full storyboard for them to flip through. You need to have merch for them to get the idea. Do it.
So for yourself, what way do you do it? Like PowerPoint slide, or just by sharing, acting it out, or do you just have to tell them the story?
Tell them the story first and foremost. I think we definitely had a deck lah. We had a deck to present, a PowerPoint deck to present what the story was about.
Story was like.
Yeah, and for myself, what helped was that I had a track record. There was a body of work that I could point to and say, hey, I've done this before. I've done not just one web series, I've done 2 web series, actually 3 web series actually. That in a very specific style, you can see it growing from series to series, and that you can see that people did enjoy it. It's not like a short film that might be good, but then storytelling like very often is subjective, right?
Yeah.
That it goes to a house film festival and then you may 20 people watch it and then 20 people love it. Like the benefit of the path I walked was that, okay, I did this web series, love from and not critically acclaimed lah, but got a certain degree of recognition from the general public lah. So that helped quite a bit.
How long did this process have to take before you say that, okay, like we can start filming now?
The truth is, once you have enough money, right, you should go already, because investors got investment horizon also, because they will be like, they have like, if they have 50K to invest and then invest in you, and then you take another 1 year before you start production, they'll be like, why am I putting my 50K in you? I can put it in fixed D.
Yeah.
And immediately get $2,000 out of it. The moment you get the money together, you have planned, you have to execute already. Have to figure out a way to start off. So we didn't take too long, to be honest. We were also impatient. I'm very impatient because, and honestly, looking at how things are, I had every right to be impatient, because I drag it out any longer. Maybe the entire industry got, I don't know.
No, but I can understand, because imagine you take longer, then you will miss this window. Then you will have to launch a movie like Christmas or like Chinese New Year, or Halloween. All the timings will be.
No one will even let me in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, even if the movie is, like I said, hand to heart, if the movie is like really damn good, so of course I'm not making promises. You all go watch it for yourselves. I'm not that kind of person. The truth is, the cinemas have no reason to believe that my movie will break in the big bucks. There's no reason. I would rather believe that Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan is Jackie Chan. I'm not going to Jackie Chan versus me, Jack Neo versus me. Who will bet on me? You guys siao.
Last thing before we go to the quickfire question is, any interesting thing happened during the filming process that you can share with us?
There was this particular location that we shot at. It's an infamous location for local film industry people.
Okay.
It's at Kranji. Usually when we go to such a location, right before we shoot, a lot of people will be very pantang, very superstitious about it.
Okay.
And we'll do some sort of like prayer. We'll do a little prayer ritual. And as I feel like y'all can tell by now, I'm an idiot. I'm a dumbass. I say something like I didn't think it was that bad. I say some shit like, would it be funny if I decided to not pray, and then even though then at first even though at first the spirit actually got no interest in me, right? They're like, looks like it's you.
Looks like it's you.
And I said that like just for fun, right? Just cracking a joke. And people are like, shut the hell up. Then I'm like, okay, shut up. I pray. Then later that night, we were shooting in this place at night. A lot of people say like they saw faces, they blah blah blah. They saw like felt the presence. I was walking alongside the road. I wasn't walking. I was standing, I think. Suddenly, I lost strength in my feet. I lost my balance lah.
Oh my
and then
God.
I fell.
Okay.
I fell into the longkang and I basically tore up the skin on my entire thigh.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow.
When you ask for it, you get given the first-hand experience.
Haven't finished yet. Don't say this kind of story.
I mean, not really their fault. Technically, I really did ask you for it.
Yeah.
No harm, no harm. I don't blame anyone.
What about your plans after this? Like, what are some of the interesting projects that you are currently you are looking forward to?
That's a good question. That's a fun question. My fantasy next project right now, make a Mother's Day movie that does not look like a Mother's Day. That does not look like a Mother's Day movie at all. Like, for example, subverted. So, for example, imagine like a mother from our generation. I'm assuming we're all around the same age. I imagine a mother from our generation. Her kids have all like grown up adults and mostly left the house already, right? And you have so our mothers will feel this sense of
emptiness
syndrome. And for a lot of them, they've been homemakers for most of their lives. So then suddenly at the age of 55, because nobody is at home anymore, they go out and find work, only to realize they got no skills. They got nothing, no job actually wants them other than to like 做打扫 and like go sweep, go do like the non-skilled jobs, non-skilled labor. What if we had a character like that, but instead of a stereotypical drama, it's a story about someone like that who decides because they got no skills, but actually got some skills, they go become like a PI for other people in the neighborhood, and at some point gets into some terrible accident, goes under surgery, has some sort of like metal plate grafted onto a skull, turns into this like almost like RoboCop journey where she starts tracking down like criminals that because of what she's doing, that she actually is very ill-equipped to handle, but because of like this hard hit, right? That metal plate in her skull, right? Like you see her like really just just going through things, fighting people, getting beaten up, but still standing up bloody and continuing to
like
fight.
A super mom,
correct, almost like like Daredevil style. And just going through it, and you see the strength of a woman, you see the strength of a mother, you see the strength of someone who has gone through shit and gone to hell and come back because she is freaking strong, and I'm sure all our mothers are. And all those things are like, superhero, right? They're also like, you imagine that kind of scene, the kind of scene that I've described, those kind of visuals, right? Then it's like, Happy Mother's Day.
Quite cool. Then like maybe like one part of it that she's fighting in a very hot place, or like they use fire to fight against her, but then it flashes back to like when she's cooking with all the fire, then she's just like, I'm used to this. I'm used to this hot environment is where I belong.
The possibilities are endless, and you can just really just have fun with it. And suddenly, and that's what I'm talking about, that like Singapore stories are, I think we can come up with cool shit. And honestly, this movie I'm describing doesn't be high budget, doesn't be like crazy expensive to make, but it could still be very exciting, very real, very raw, very bloody, very moving,
personable,
and personable. All sorts of connections to society and our hearts, while still feeling like, oh my god, this is like a superhero movie. Like in everything,
in every sense.
This is
not just your typical Mother Day movie, but your Superman movie.
So Chai Hong, before Brandon goes into the quickfire, right? I would like to give you a minute for you to probably just talk to our viewers and to all the potential listeners and just promote your upcoming movie lah. Because I don't think we have really talked about this thing in a chronological order for people to like go to buy tickets to see your movie yet.
Come watch You Can Save the World. We are entering theaters on 18th September. The first 2 weeks are battleground. We made this movie for you. We made this movie for Singaporeans. We made this movie in particular for younger generations of Singaporeans, to excite ourselves, to show us that actually Singaporean movies can be freaking amazing. And we made this movie to show ourselves that we are a really fun people and a really fun place, and we have really fun stories, so that we can all celebrate ourselves, that we can save the world.
Nice. Nice. Now we'll just go into a quick fire questions. Favorite movie?
Memories of Murder.
Ooh, favorite director?
Okay.
Bong Joon-ho.
Okay. Writing in silence or writing with music in the background?
Writing in silence.
Most embarrassing on-set moment when filming.
Don't have. I have no shame.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yes.
What advice would you give to aspiring filmmakers?
Take risks. Don't give up.
Okay, one movie you recommend everyone to watch aside from We Can Save the World?
Memories of Murder.
Oh,
Nice,
that was a damn good movie leh. And apparently after the movie, the killer was really caught.
Yeah, but not because of the movie lah. I think
He was already in
Just
jail
timely
lah.
just timely.
Yeah.
Could be
Yeah,
a publicity stunt who knows? But
yeah, because everyone's like Parasite usually the gateway movie for most people to Bong Joon-ho.
Correct.
Right? But Memories of Murder is so much better. Another one, The Wailing.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, I think it was a really awesome episode to really talk to you and learn more about your career as a director. But before we go, can you let our audience know where they can find you on social media and where they can find the We Can Save the World social media also?
You can find We Can Save the World at wecansavetheworld.movie. I think. Yes, We Can Save the World.movie. That's the Instagram handle. Myself, you can find me at Chai Hong. So that's CHCH Chai Hong. Used to have this very habit about speak faster than I thought and I end up stammering. So Chai Hong.
Chai Hong. That's really good using
that's really cool. Yeah.
the stammer to brand yourself to make it better. Wow, that's really very cool.
Thank you for your time, Chai Hong. And here's wishing you all the best and really a great premiere for the movie.
Thank you.